Hi guys, it's Vix from New Age Hipster and I'm here to talk to you today about your favorite tarot card, the one that when it comes up in the middle of your spread you're like, yay, I'm so excited that this has come up. It's the Three of Swords. Let's have a little chat about the Three of Swords. I am making a whole bunch of videos on the scary tarot cards. I know some people don't find them scary. If you don't, then don't worry about watching this video. Go and do something else with your time. If you're somebody that struggles a bit with seeing this in the middle of your spread, seeing this as like representing the outcome of what's going on for you, then stick around. Okay, I do have a blog post that talks a bit more. I'm going to make this video pretty brief, hopefully, that's my intention. There is a blog post that talks more about the Three of Swords and I will post that below, and if you do want to check out some of my other videos on the scary cards, you could do that. I'll post a link to those below as well. Okay, so when you get this in your reading, now I've spoken about this before in some of my other videos. When I get this for somebody else and I'm doing a reading for a client, and I get this, I'm not bothered about it. I'm like, cool, this is where you are. This is what you're going through. This is where we're heading. This is, this is what it means for you in this situation. When I see it for myself, when I'm pulling my own cards and it's like past, present, future, and then it's like, really? Then I do tend to get into an energy of like, what's gonna happen? Like, is something really bad gonna happen? Am I gonna get my heart broken? Is something like just really terrible gonna happen in my life that just kind of like brings me into like a really horrible energy? Like, what's gonna happen? I usually like to pull more cards at that point to kind of help me to consider like what is really going on, what's really going on around the energy of the Three of Swords for me at that point. However, I have, since those freakouts that I used to have, I have come quite a way in my journey, and so now when I see this card, I really think it's about healing. And if you take one thing away from this video, take away the word healing, because this isn't like the energy of the Three of Swords. A lot of people like to call it heartbreak, or heartache, or despair, or sadness, or whatever. But for me, I like to look at the healing energy. Like, okay, life is not all like roses and candy canes, right? Like, there is stuff that happens in life that is really difficult to deal with, and it does come up. But I don't believe that the tarot wants to scare us. I don't believe that our guides and angels that we're working with when we use tarot want to put something in front of us that makes us freak out, get into anxiety, get into stress, whatever. I don't think that that's not helpful energy. And I think that if those messages are coming through for you and you are getting into like some really fear-based stuff, just remember that's just your brain, right? that's not your guidance, because your guidance will never make you feel scared. Your guidance will make you feel supported. That doesn't mean that you'll never go through stuff, but it just means that when you are in that energy of fear, like freaking yourself out, that's not your guidance, that's your own brain, and that's your own other stuff going on. So healing is a big thing that comes up for me with this card, and healing can be so much, right? Like, healing can be like physical healing, like, I mean, the Three of Swords can sometimes represent stress and anxiety, and that's it. Like, okay, I see that you're going through a really stressful time. Let's have a look at how to move through that. Let's have a look at how to help you move through that. Or I can see that you've got a lot of anxiety, like you've got a lot of energy, like, the thing that's really interesting for me about this card is that we call it the heartbreak card, but it's a swords card, right? It's swords energy, and swords energy is not emotional. Swords energy is about your intellect and your mind. So this is kind of like a freak out card. It feels to me more like it's about stress and anxiety than it is about deep deep pain and heartache and heartbreak, because the swords are not about your emotions. The swords are about your intellect and your mind, and I feel like that's a really positive thing, because it's like you can heal through using your mind, right? Whatever healing you've got going on. if you've been really burned by, an ex, if you've gone through something really horrible in your past. Like, it just feels like the message here really is that you can move through it by focusing your mind, by changing the way you look at things. And if you can't change the way you look at the past, okay, let's have a look at how you're looking at where you are right now and where you're going in the future. So healing is a huge thing. I would say anybody that gets this in your card, just go for a Reiki session if you get this in your cards. Like, book in for a Reiki session, or sometimes if you keep seeing it, sometimes I would maybe go to a reader, like go to somebody else and get some advice on it if I was feeling really freaked out. But generally, if you can look at this card and think that it's about healing, especially reversed, when it comes up reversed and it's like, okay, yes, you've been stabbed, but the swords are coming out now and this is the healing process. I love it. I love it. So yeah, just have a little think about that. I hope that that kind of helps you to kind of not be afraid of the three of swords. I wanted to show you the Three of Swords from the Connolly Tarot. This is a new deck for me. I've just only had it a few days, but I love the Three of Swords in this deck because it's not really, well, it's not scary. It doesn't look scary to me. Like, which one would you rather see in your reading? And I love how it's like, it's this fog. It's this fog, and two of the swords are down into the fog, and one of the swords is upright, and it kind of feels like, to me this card feels like, okay, you're in an energy right now where you can't really see your way out of where you are. Things are very, things feel very heavy on your heart, and you can't, you're just in this fog, like in this metaphorical fog, and you're trying to kind of find your way forward, but you can't. And it kind of feels like a message from this version of the Three of Swords is like, just be where you are and just chill out and just wait for the fog to clear, and then you can grab your sword that's upright and you can keep going. And I think that's a really interesting way to look at the Three of Swords. It's like, okay, this is just where you are. And sometimes the thing that we really need is like a week on the couch with Netflix, with a pizza, with a friend or not, whatever. Sometimes we just need to take that time for healing, and healing doesn't always have to be a Reiki treatment, although, you know, I freaking love that stuff. It doesn't always have to be a Reiki treatment or a reading or whatever. Sometimes healing is just taking some time out to chill and just let that happen, and just let it happen. So that's some thoughts on the Three of Swords. I'd love to know in the comments what you guys think about the Three of Swords. Does it freak you out? Are you totally cool with it? What other like meanings and like definitions and things come up for you when you think of the Three of Swords? Let's have a little discussion about it, because I think it's really powerful. And I think it's also really cool to see what other people think about cards. Because even though I'm an intuitive reader and it means something different all the time, there are like so many different definitions for these cards. There are so many different meanings, there are so many different things that they can represent at different times, and I feel like we're never gonna even get to the tip of the iceberg and how deep and how many things that they can represent. So please share with us, because I think that's really cool when we do that. So have a chat and let us know what you think about the Three of Swords. Let me know if these videos are useful to you, and I will make some more. I've already made one on the Death card, and I'd love to make one as well on like the Devil, the Tower, Ten of Swords, like just some of the kind of the cards that when they come up you're just like, really? So stay tuned and let me know if you like them, and stay tuned, and there will be more if people do like them. And that's it from me. If you do want to grab a reading with me, all of the links are below on how to do that, and I'll see you in the next video. Loads of love and light.